Hi guys, so I wanted to create a quick little episode in case you're going through a difficult time recently or you've lost your self-belief and motivation to be creative. I know sometimes people often put expectations onto themselves that aren't exactly unachievable. Anything you're passionate about is attainable if you give it time, but you may not be giving yourself time to actually work on an idea. And because it isn't almost instant or easy to get overnight, it could knock your self-confidence and you start to think of all of the what ifs. I think if you're doubting yourself, my advice would be to make yourself a 90-day plan, and this doesn't have to be super detailed. Just create a list of things you know you could do to work on your goal over the next 90 days. Then each night I want you to create a to-do list for the next day. I do this every night and set myself goals such as working for a few hours on a project, emailing people I want to connect with, and I even remind myself to take some time to think of projects I want to do in the future each day. It's really helped me to stay motivated when I hit a slump or patch of anxiety, and I go to sleep each night feeling like I've got a little bit closer to my goal. If you are a creative who doesn't feel like one because you haven't made anything in a while, then I want you to hear this little analogy. Be patient with yourself. Nothing in nature blooms all year. That means it's okay to have breaks from making things, because even if you aren't physically making, you can still think of a plan of what you want to do in the future. The way I see it, movie trilogies are created over a series of years, but in between them being in the cinema for everyone to watch, the stories are being thought of and scripted, and the production is planned and acted. So I think that these times where you feel like you aren't being your best self or aren't creating enough, to take a step back and kind of realise that being creative also includes those quiet times to think of things you'd like to make or to find inspiration. Because once you do, you'll have something that you want to communicate with your work, and everyone will be so excited to see your new ideas. Another thing I wanted to cover in this episode was, if you don't have the confidence to create work with a message or theme you have in mind because you feel like others would judge you or not really like your work, then please stop letting others' judgments hold you back. Because yes, it's nice if other people like your work, but it's more important if you like your work. There will always be people who need to see or hear what you have to say or create, so do it for them unknown people, and do it for yourself. You'll feel a lot more motivated and satisfied if you're putting energy into work you feel has meaning, even if that meaning is just for yourself. You'll find that others will relate to you the more honest you are. People like honesty and expression in art, so you don't have to hold back because you think you aren't creating the right thing. In art, nothing is really wrong. I mean, Marcel Duchamp put a urinal in a gallery, and look how that played out. You are still a creative, even if your ideas are still in your head right now. And take this episode as permission for you to create that art or use that technique or theme you've been thinking of but not done yet. There are people out in the world whose favourite art will be your art. They just haven't seen it yet. So hang in there, make a little to-do list, a 90-day plan, and then you'll be on the roll. And that's all I really wanted to say for this episode. I hope it reaches people who need to hear it, and if you know anybody who does, please share it with them too. If you have any recommendations of who you'd like me to invite on my podcast for the next episode, or a topic you'd like me to cover, you can message me on leahjane_art on Instagram.